Thank you all for being here. My name is Senator Albrecht. I'm honored to be here today alongside many of my colleagues and several medical professionals and special guests that will speak to you momentarily. This morning I'm announcing two major pro-life bills that will be introducing in Nebraska legislature. The Nebraska Heartbeat Act, which will protect lives of baby boys and girls with beating heartbeats from abortion. The Nebraska Pregnancy Help Act, which will help support and empower women and families in Nebraska. Formal bill language is still being finalized by our bill drafter's office. They're working hard on getting they're working hard on getting Senate bills out. I think mine was 102 and 103, but expected to introduce it in the next coming days, or to be able to drop the bills. Every parent remembers hearing their child's heartbeat for the very first time. A heartbeat is a universal sign of life, and we also know that abortions stop a beating heart. Under the Nebraska Heartbeat Act, before performing an abortion, a physician must perform an ultrasound to listen for a fetal heartbeat. If the heartbeat is detected, performing an abortion is unlawful, except in cases of rape, incest, or to save the life of a mother. In addition to these exceptions, the Nebraska Heartbeat Act makes undeniably clear that doctors have no reason to think twice about providing medical care to women who need it. The bill clearly provides that treatment for the ectopic pregnancy and the care after miscarriage remain unaffected. It also clearly provides that access to IVF will remain unaffected as well. For any abortionist who violates the Nebraska Heartbeat Act, there will be a strong response under our law, but no criminal or civil penalties. Instead, an abortionist who violates the Heartbeat Act will have their medical license subject to discipline like any other instance of serious unprofessional conduct. It is also important to say very clearly that no woman who obtains or attempts to obtain an abortion may be held liable in any way under this bill. The Nebraska Heartbeat Act is about one thing. It's about protecting babies who have heartbeats from an elective abortion. We have listened to Nebraskans, and this is where we are. A new statewide poll demonstrates that 58% of Nebraska voters support a law that would protect unborn children from the moment their heartbeat can be detected, including nearly 2/3 of independents and nearly half of Democrats. This bill is backed by Nebraskans and based in science. The heart is the first functioning organ to develop. Numerous studies show that once a heartbeat is detected, the likelihood that the mother will go on to deliver a healthy baby is over 90%. Again, this bill is about protecting our most vulnerable citizens, unborn children, and supporting mothers. It ensures that pregnant women can always receive the care and treatment that they need. Every woman and child deserves love. That's why we will also be introducing the Nebraska Pregnancy Help Act, which will establish a new tax credit to incentivize private donations to more than 20 pregnancy help organizations across Nebraska, and who are providing food, housing, transportation, baby supplies, job training, and more, all free of charge. To the under-supported pregnant and parenting women of Nebraska, this bill will also allow up to $10 million in tax credits per year and will be a powerful tool to allow these organizations to expand their vital services, support, and relationships they offer to pregnant women, something no mere government program can do. We care about these women, we always have. The Nebraska Pregnancy Help Act will help us do more. The state of Nebraska is best served when every life counts and when every life, born and unborn, is valued and cherished. Let's start here in a place where we should all be able to agree women deserve support and babies with beating hearts should be protected. I've made copies of the Nebraska Heartbeat Act available to members of the press here today. I'll have a packet for each one of you. I'm excited and thankful to have several special guests with us today, including doctors and medical experts who will have reviewed the Nebraska Heartbeat Act, as well as representatives from the state's largest pregnancy help organizations. I will let them introduce themselves and share more about why they're here in support today, and we'll come back for questions as soon as they're finished. Thank you very much. We have Dr. Firth coming in from Washington.
Hello, my name is Dr. Katrina Firth, and I'm a developmental biologist who works for the Charlotte Lozier Institute, which is a pro-life and pro-woman organization. And I'm here to talk about how the humanity of the 6-week gestation fetus is undeniable from the science. Starting in the 6th week of gestation, the heart starts beating. Peer-reviewed science calls this a heartbeat, embryology textbooks call this a heartbeat, and the people of Nebraska call this a heartbeat. That heartbeat will not stop until that person dies. The fetal heart is essential for moving oxygen and nutrients around the developing child. And that heart will have beat for 54 million times before the child is even born. As a mother who thought I had lost my 3rd child to miscarriage because I was bleeding, I can say that from being in the doctor's office at that moment, when I heard that heartbeat, the doctor and I did not need to say anything to each other to know that that heartbeat meant that my 3rd child was still alive. The people of Nebraska are taking a heroic step in recognizing the science and recognizing that the unborn child is a human who needs protection like you and I. Thank you.
Next up, I'd like to introduce Dr. Planbeck from Lincoln, Nebraska, medical physician. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Dr. Robert Planbeck, and I'm an obstetrician gynecologist, and I live here in Lincoln, Nebraska. I have specialized in obstetrics and gynecology for 35 years here in Nebraska. When I provide care for a pregnant woman, I am responsible for caring for 2 patients, the mother and her unborn child. There is no question biologically or medically that these are 2 separate human beings. They have their own heartbeats. They have their own genetic makeup. They have their own medical needs. They are 2 separate individual humans, and they both deserve compassionate and professional medical care. Every human life, both the mother and the unborn child, is sacred. I have treated and cared for thousands of pregnant women and their babies, including complicated and sometimes severe life-threatening health situations. And there is nothing in this bill that prevents me or any doctor from providing appropriate and necessary medical care to a pregnant woman, or from terminating a pregnancy in the rare and tragic instance when the mother's life is at stake. Being an OBGYN is a wonderful privilege. Helping women through a wide range of challenging and sometimes distressing medical and surgical health problems throughout their lives is a responsibility that I take very seriously. One of the greatest responsibilities and experiences as an OBGYN is witnessing the miracle of life. As that child takes its first breath, as I lay that baby in the mother's arms and see the tears in the parents' eyes as they hold their baby for the very first time, it is a marvel, and it always touches me deeply. And I never get tired of it, and I just feel so blessed to be part of that. As a physician, I have had the opportunity to build lifelong relationships and serve generations of families over the years. I care so much about these families I serve, and I care about this community and our state. As a medical professional, I believe this bill will not interfere with my ability or any other physician's ability to properly provide care for a woman or her unborn child. Thank you for listening.
For the health organizations throughout our state that take care of these gals that are struggling with lots of different I'd like to introduce Tanya. I'm sorry, Tony.
Angela is a 23-year-old woman who walks into our office. She has taken a pregnancy test and she's pretty sure she's pregnant. She has no clue what to do. She has not told anyone and she has many questions. She feels alone, overwhelmed, and frightened. She's just looking for someone to come alongside her and help her figure out what to do next. I'm Tony Clark, Executive Director for Assure Women's Center in Omaha, Nebraska. There are more than 25 pregnancy help organizations from corner to corner across our great state of Nebraska that provide help for women in need like Angela. We are there to confirm she is pregnant and provide her with the information and support she needs when she feels like she has no one else that can help her. We are with her when she hears her baby's heartbeat for the very first time. Every parent remembers the emotion of hearing that heartbeat. And for a young woman all alone, that heartbeat can be very frightening. That emotion is magnified. Her mind is flooding with so many thoughts, fears, and anxieties. Pregnancy help organization staff and volunteers walk with her through the flood of emotions as she decides what she wants to do. We are there to help her every step of the way. Pregnancy services are not all that we provide. Families who need material support find it at pregnancy help organizations. From cribs to diapers, we are there to provide the items that a baby needs. We provide baby showers for those who need it. We help find housing and sometimes even cars. We also equip moms and dads to be better parents through our parenting classes. We want them to break the cycle of poverty and provide financial literacy courses. The list of services we provide is quite extensive. Pregnancy help organizations help families. Every woman and child does indeed deserve love and support. That is what pregnancy help organizations do. Thank you.
And I'd like to thank all my colleagues and the professionals that were able to be here today. I'm happy to take any questions at this time. I'm getting blinded by one light, so any questions?
How much support do you have here?
Well, I'm hoping 33.
How many do you have here?
I don't know, I haven't counted.
Do you have 33?
I believe I do.
How is this bill different from what was proposed in the last session?
Okay, the trigger bill was one that was going to be a total ban on abortion.
Yeah, what made you decide to go with this level of restrictions over a total ban?
Well, it was very evident by the debate last year. It was, we listen to Nebraskans. We have organizations that are behind us doing the research and visiting with people on what they feel that they can support. And it's very evident that a total ban was not appropriate at this time. Very difficult for me to have accepted, but that's what it is, and that's what we're going to carry and support.
Is there an exemption for if the mother is in danger or
Yes.
incest?
Yes, the three exemptions are, of course, rape, incest, and the life-saving measures of a mother. Yes.
Why did you include those?
Well, we want the bill to pass, of course, and if those were our hurdles that we needed to consider, those are what we needed to do. But we have 85% of the babies will be saved with this 6-week ban, and there's very limited, less than 1% on rape and incest, but we need to be cognizant that those folks too have a heart, and we've got to take care of their needs as well.
Many women may not know or find out that they are pregnant before there is a heartbeat or before 6 weeks. Just how do you think that could impact Nebraska women, or what would be your concerns about people not having a chance to think about it?
Well, hopefully, before the bill is brought into law, they'll understand that it is a 6-week ban and that they do need to seek professional help if they feel that they are going to be having a baby and they might be over the 6-week time frame.
Is the 6 weeks from fertilization or the last menstrual period?
last menstrual cycle is where they're trying to detect it, but some women don't know when that is. But the person doing the ultrasound will know, as well as conferring with the patient exactly where they're at.
So
It's not going to be an exact science.
In the language, is it conception or menstrual cycle?
Part B.
No, it's for the 6 week.
Yeah, you can help me out. I don't
Sorry,
have the bill in front
sorry.
of me.
So just for to answer those questions about, so there's no actual gestational limit on the bill. It doesn't start at 6 weeks or at 8 weeks or at any other time. What it requires is for the physician, before proceeding to test for a fetal heartbeat, and then if that heartbeat is present, he may not proceed. So that's what it does.
When does that typically occur?
Typically around 6 weeks gestation, so from the last menstrual period. Yep.
The 58% polling, who conducted the poll?
I have it in my book. Can anybody answer? Who conducted the poll? WPA.
What does that, do you know what that stands for?
No. But we'll have a packet.
Question on polling.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Yep. Nate Gross with Nebraska Family Alliance, one of 3 statewide pro-life organizations supporting these bills, as well as the Nebraska Catholic Conference and Nebraska Right to Life. Today we're releasing some statewide polling that was conducted by WPA Intelligence, showing a strong majority support, 58% support the heartbeat legislation that Senator Albrecht will be introducing. And for all the press who are here today, we have packets with a memo on the polling for you to take with you, as well as a copy of the Nebraska Heartbeat Act.
How was the question phrased?
If the likely voters support legislation protecting unborn babies from abortion when a heartbeat can be detected, or allowing abortion in cases of rape, incest, and to save the life of the mother. And again, we have that in a memo for you that we'll provide you.
Yes, sir.
Who is that balancing act for you personally to maintain your pro-life values, but yet to make these changes?
I think there's a lot of organizations and people who are feeling like I am, but the reality of it is we have to listen to Nebraskans. But to save the life of 85% of the babies today would be a huge step in the right direction.
You talked about the other bill, the Pregnancy Support Act.
Yes.
That doesn't directly give funding to those programs or to individual women. Can you explain how that works with how the money would get to the women or the assistance would get to them?
Well, it would
How
go.
much?
It's a $10 million cap for the year, but if I would choose to send money to a particular organization, they use that money to fund the program and whatever they have to offer the ladies. They have overhead, they have personnel, they have supplies, they have lots of different things that they need money. And right now they've been operating on private funds. Now the private individual who chooses to support that particular organization will be able to have a tax credit for that.
How do you guarantee then that there will be the adequate help if you can't tell people to donate, if it's just up to individuals to choose to
Well,
donate?
a lot of these folks know exactly what they need to do to fundraise to keep their doors open. So I'm confident it'll be doing what they're doing now plus more because they can have a tax credit.
Senator, will your bill address medication abortions or chemical abortions? Is there language in your bills for that?
No, not specifically for that, but you would have to get those pills from a doctor to be able to, and in the state of Nebraska, it would be illegal for them to get it from the outside. You
Yeah.
can always add more to it.
Yeah, just to add what to Senator Albright said. So the bill, and you'll get that language so you can look it over, but it would address not only surgical abortions, but chemically induced, drug-induced abortions as well. But again, since the bill applies only to intrauterine pregnancies, and only in the case where the baby has heartbeat, right? That removes some of these questions about, say, Plan B or the morning after pill or things like that. So.
Senator, do you know, did any other states do something like the tax credit bill?
Yes, but who they are, I can't tell you. It'll be in your packet. Yes.
The other change is that you're not going to go after doctors criminally.
No.
Why did you make that change?
Well, of course, every situation is different, but in the hospitals that we understand in Nebraska, I mean, there's a credentialing type thing that if you are unprofessional and they have a standard of care type act within their hospitals, so they're not going to overstep their boundaries, and if they do, then they have to go before a board, and you know, if they discipline them and they were to lose their license, that would mean something, but that is not our intent. Our intent is with the elective abortions that are going on, that anyone that would perform it after 6 weeks would be having to go before someone and be talked to about it. So, anything else? Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it. And anything else?
We've got some press packets here for the press so you can look at the polling and the legislation.